What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video I am going to be discussing and giving my early predictions for UFC 310, the final pay-per-view card of the year in 2024, and it is an absolutely stacked lineup of fights. I'm really looking forward to this fight card. I think there's 14 fights total, and none of them feel like filler. None of them feel like fights that really just don't need to be there. Like, yeah, there's some lower quality fights, yeah, there's some fat heavyweights, some blobs, but for the most part, this is a great card top to bottom. This is not like a top heavy card. This is not reliant on like the main event or the co-main event like 309. This is a strong card, and it's got a great main, a great co-main, and a bunch of other cool fights on the prelims. So yeah, I'm going to be giving my early predictions, early breakdowns for the card, as well as talking about the recently announced fight of Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley as well. But yeah, let's get into the video, and starting off with the newly announced co-main event, which is Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Garry. Oh, this is the first fight to talk about, and it has been recently announced as well. I didn't really get to doing a video when, like, the day it was announced, because it was on the Saturday night, or for you guys, I think Friday night in America, and I was coming back from work, and it was like 11 o'clock, and I just couldn't be fucked. So I just didn't end up getting around to a video there. But I'll give my prediction now. I think you guys already know. I think I already made a community post with my prediction. I'm going to be picking Shavkat. I think it's a bit too much for Garry. He's got just a bit too much going on. I think the striking is probably favours Garry in terms of the technical aspect. But Garry, you know, it's the all the technique but just too weak sort of slogan. It's the same thing for some guys like Corey Sandhagen, where it's like the guy's got all the technical aspects. He can throw a fucking spinning kick, he can throw a nice counter right hand and stuff, but he's just a bit too weak. He gets kind of physicality around, he gets tossed around, and I think this will actually look pretty similar to Umar against Corey Sandhagen, in my opinion. I know they are similar, they're not completely similar styles, like there is a difference there between the two, obviously between Corey and and then obviously between Umar and Shavkat, but I think the overall premise of the fight is going to be the same, where it's like a really technical striker on the feet with some decent grappling versus a fucking Alhamdulillah brother who's like less technical but just more physical, and he's kind of going to muscle the dude around a bit, and when he gets a hold of him it's just going to be trouble. And I think Garry is in trouble if he gets taken down. I don't know if he's been taken down before, but like he just doesn't look like the guy who's going to hold up super well in the clinch. I think Shavkat can absolutely destroy him with knees to the body and trip him out as well. I know he didn't look amazing in the wrestling against Wonderboy, but Buckley was struggling with Wonderboy, obviously KO'd him on the feet. Shavkat also had an injury going into that fight, so I just think he's really good. I don't think he's like the best fighter ever. I don't think he's like just unbeatable. There are guys that I would pick to beat him. But right now, Garry, I just don't rate his, like, I don't know, he just looked so mid in his last few fights. He looked like he had absolutely no place on the feet against MVP, which is fair. But also, like, even like Jeff Neal fight. You're looking at the two of them, Jeff Neal and Garry. Yes, Shavkat got rocked a few more times than Garry did, because Ian just played it safe on the outside, but like he looked fucking petrified to get hit, and Shavkat at least took the shots. I also think Garry's chin remains to be seen, because he has been cracked and dropped by Song Kanan. I think overall the chin's not too bad, but I don't know, I just can't trust this dude to just get cracked for 25 minutes by Shavkat. And I think, again, 25, if it was 15, I might go Ian. We haven't really seen the cardio of Shavkat, but I imagine it's solid, and I imagine that if this dude just has 25 minutes, he's going to find a finish somewhere. So I'm going to pick Shavkat by submission. Apparently there's stories of submissions in training happening. Shavkat's apparently subbed him a few times. There was a rumor a while ago that Shavkat knocked Garry out with like a head kick or some shit like that, is what some people are hypothesizing. But overall, I don't know. I just think Shavkat's too good. He's got the momentum. And also, he was preparing for Bilal. He was preparing for like a well-rounded sort of fight where he was going to have to do a lot of everything. Garry's preparing for like Buckley. I don't know. I feel like it's a different style there with the Buckley fight. It's not going to be too much, but I don't know. I'm just kind of adding on reasons. But overall, yeah, I think Shavkat's a bit too good with the grappling. And even on the feet, if he's getting out-techniqued, I just don't think he's going to get deterred. I think he's just going to walk forward and beat him up, even if he's taken the shots. Like, he's just going to walk through him. So yeah, I'm picking Shavkat by submission. I'll go like round 3 or 4. Maybe like a close first round, loses the first, and then, yeah, gets the finish in the later rounds. Let's move on, though, to the next fight to discuss. Next fight to discuss is Joaquin Buckley versus Colby Covington. Now, unfortunately, we lost the Buck versus the Cuck matchup with Garry versus Joaquin Buckley. Now we got the Buck versus the Duck. I mean, I can't really call him a duck anymore, though, because he's actually accepted a short notice fight, which is surprising. Thought Colby was all talk, but no, fair enough, he's actually down. So, I mean, I'll wait for him to actually step in the cage to give him credit, but for now, fair play, Colby. You took the fight. I still think you're going to get fucking finished, though. I think he's going to lose, and I think he's going to get just overwhelmed and finished by TKO, in my opinion. I don't know. I think Colby isn't, like, he's not that quick of a starter. Usman was able to really put it on him. I think people forget, man. Like, I know everyone knows, obviously, Colby and Usman had 2 fights. I think some people don't remember the fact that Usman, like, 10-8'd this dude in round 2 and dropped him, like, twice and hurt him bad. Like, I don't think Buckley's the same level of striker as, like, prime Usman, but I think Colby's worse and Buckley is better than he was a few years ago. So I think it's, like, a slightly worse version of Usman versus, like, a way worse version of Colby, in my opinion. Maybe that's, like, a kind of, like, really easy, casual comparison to make, but I don't know. I just think he's going to win, and I think his takedown defense is solid early. Derive's a strong wrestler. He was able to stuff takedowns off him. And I don't know, Colby, I don't think he's going to get into his rhythm that quickly. Like, he took Masvidal down. I don't think I don't think Buckley is just going to be Masvidal and just let himself get kind of dominated in the wrestling. So, if Colby can't get off to a good start, I think it kind of deters him a bit, puts him on the back foot a bit, similar to how Leon Edwards had him. And yeah, if Colby's backing up, which I don't think Colby's known for his fucking lateral movement, bobbing and weaving, slipping punches, he kind of, like, takes the shots, because he does have a good chin for the most part, but he's 36 now, I think. Chin's not going to be as good. And yeah, I think he's going to get cracked. I think Buckley's going to pressure him up against the cage, maybe stuff a takedown, reverse him against the fence, and just start whooping his ass, rip body shots, and just overwhelm him to, like, a standing TKO or sort of like a Gane Spivak-esque, like, big combination, doesn't really go down, but sort of is, like, his knees are kind of buckling a little bit. I think that's what it's going to look like. I think it's going to be an early, within 2 rounds or within 3 rounds finish for Buckley. And I also don't think his cardio is that bad. So even if Colby pushes a pace and takes him into the later rounds, he looked good in the third against the Mavov. Like, he put it on a Mavov in round 3, and not getting completely smoked by Mavov is a pretty solid look, especially since he was very undersized at middleweight. And Colby's not going to finish him. I think also, if you need to beat Buckley, it's got to be like how Holland or Curtis did it. Like, you got to put him down. Colby's not putting this dude down. I don't think you're just going to win 25 minutes against Buckley unless you're like a wonder boy without getting KO'd. Like, if Colby had wonder boy level striking and a good chin, I think he could win. But I don't know. Overall, I think Buckley's just got too many advantages. Physicality, power, strength, speed. I think Colby's probably a little bit more technical, and he's probably got some better wrestling and better cardio, but apart from that, I don't think he's going to be able to just cardio max his way to a win against these new up-and-coming welterweights, in my opinion. Let's move on, though, to now discuss the rest of UFC 310. The new main event for this card, or stepping up to the main event, elevated from the co-main. It's an interesting choice, because I think a lot of people were expecting them to just run an interim belt, which I don't mind that they didn't, because it's still 5 rounds, and ultimately, an interim belt is realistically just a glorified title fight. And if the winner of this is going to fight Bilal in, like, fucking March or April, like, what's the point of an interim belt? The same with Yair. Like, Yair will go down as an interim champion, but, like, realistically, he fought on the same card as Volk to win his interim title. Like, how does that make any sense? Like, if he'd fought in February and it was Volk fighting Islam in, like, July and then wasn't going to be able to go back to a featherweight until, like, December or some shit, like, when that happened, then I would get it. But, like, you can't fight on the same card as the dude and fight for an interim title. Like, it makes no sense. But Pantoja Asakura main event, I don't mind it. I actually like that Pantoja's getting some spotlight. I think he's one of the most underappreciated champions in the UFC. I love this dude, man. I worked so hard for this, you guys. It's a good fight, you know. It's main event, man. I don't know. Pay-per-view superstar, man. Pantoja, you know, are you proud of me now, Dad? Like, he's just a cool guy. I don't know. Like, Lucas was shitting on him and saying this guy sucks and he's boring. Like, I don't know. I think this dude goes to a decision and then people's like, oh, he's boring. Like, even if you take away the fact, like, even if you just look at his last, like, 3 fights, Moreno fight was sick. Like, people forget, man, it was a banger. Like, Moreno fight was awesome. The Royval fight, he came out like a bat out of hell, Pantoja that is, and was like trying to beat his ass, and then just realized he can't throw non-stop output for 25 minutes, so he had to just slow down and hold him. But like, again, he was actually doing shit on top. Like, Lucas Tracy is acting like this guy was just fucking half guard camping the whole time. Like, he moved positions, like he pushed to mount, he went for the back, he threw ground and pound. Like, this guy's not a fucking smudge grappler. He's not just like holding people down. I know there are moments when he does it, but for the most part, like, this guy throws heavy output on the feet. I think he's pretty fun. Like, I'm not saying he's a fucking Charles Oliveira level like entertainer or like a Yuri Prohaska, but like, he's not boring. Like, look at his pre-UFC, look at his pre-championship run. Fucking immediately ran at Alex Perez and just subbed him straight away. Subbed Royval. Like, this dude's finishing guys, so I don't know, Pantoja needs more appreciation. I think he should be higher on the pound for pound list. But regardless, I think he's going to beat Kai Asakura. I just don't think Kai Asakura's grappling is that good, and even the striking I think looks really good, but like, you're getting KO'd by Manel Kape. I don't know, like, it's kind of questionable now, like, because I think, like, 2 years ago, we probably would have been like, oh, Manel Kape's a savage, like, obviously, that's fine, he also beat Kape, but like, oh, that's alright, we don't mind, but now, it's like, Kape's kind of mid, like, Kape's not finishing Mikhaev on the feet, Kape's not, like, Pantoja outstruck Kape, like, Pantoja beat Manel Kape across 15 minutes in a fight with no grappling. Go back and rewatch that fight, I'm like 95% sure there was no takedowns. If anything, I think Kape shot takedowns. I think Pantoja just struck with him and won. Maybe I'm bugging, but I think Pantoja's going to win. I think his striking is not actually that bad. I know he gets cracked a bit. His chin's rock solid. And yeah, Asakura's KOing some bums in Ryzen. Some of them are good, like he's fought Kyoji, he's fought Kape, all that. But ultimately, I don't know, I don't think the level's going to be there. Maybe he comes out there and we see the big, like, crazy story to end off the year, like, Rising Champion comes in. I don't know who the UFC wants to win, though, because, like, do they want Pantoja to defend home turf and be like, yeah, see, these other promotions aren't good? Or do they want Asakura to win because they want to be able to do some Japan shit or something like that? I don't know. But I hope Pantoja wins. Would I be mad if Asakura wins? No. But I think Pantoja's doing work and he's climbing up the GOAT list, you know. Not top 15 yet, but, you know, he's making his way there. Underappreciated resume as well. This dude has, like, 9 wins or, like, 8 wins. But I don't know why I said Nicolau. But this guy has beaten, like, pretty much everyone in the top 15. Like, he's already got 3 wins over Moreno, 2 over Royval. He's beat Kai Kara-France on tough. He beat Schnell. Schnell's who I was talking about. Schnell got cut, or not cut. I think he retired. So that took away one of his active wins. But like, there was a point, I'm pretty sure the stat was like 9 wins. Obviously, there's some of them are multiple over the same opponent, but like 9 total wins over top 15 guys. Like, that is nuts. So Pantoja needs more appreciation. I think he's going to win, probably by submission. Kai Asakura also can't just throw soccer kicks and like fucking knees from top side control or even bottom side control. Like, he's going to have some of his weapons taken away from him. Also used to fighting in the ring as well. Like, I don't know how many of his fights are in the cage. Aren't most of them in the ring, unless I'm tripping. So I think he's going to lose. I think Pantoja's going to look pretty good here and get a submission. After a tougher fight against Usyk, I think we're finally going to go back to submission threat Pantoja, and he's actually going to prove that he can finish fights. Let's move on, though, to another fight on the card. Next up, we move to the feature fight of the card, and it is a rematch between Cyril Gane. No, this is not good matchup for me. I not want the rematch. This is why I only want to fight up the rankings. Cyril, you're coming off a win over Sergey Spivak. You have to fight Gane. You have to fight Volkov. No, this is not good fight. This guy has actually looked good. He's not fat heavyweight. How am I supposed to win? No, I do think Gane is going to win. I hope you guys enjoy. People have enjoyed the Gane impression in the past, so I keep it going from time to time. But yeah, I think Gane's going to win. I don't know. I think it'll be closer than the first fight. It's also 3 rounds, I think, which favours Volkov, because I do think Gane is going to just get better as the fight goes on in terms of, like, similar to, like, a Yarn. Like, he gets the striking reads down. He knows what you're doing. Like, he got cracked early against Tai, and then he kind of tuned him up. Like, this happens. I know people say getting dropped by Tai is a bad look. Yes, it is. But ultimately, I think he's good, and I think Volkov's power, it's there, but it's not, like, enough to really just smoke. Like, I think an Aspinall is the only guy who would actually, like, has the potential to finish Gane on the feet. But Volkov, we've seen the fight before. Like, he's going to use his teeps at range and see if Volkov's going to try and use his tall man, his jabs and all that, and then Gane's just going to be in and out, throwing more kicks, throwing, like, in combination instead of single shots. I don't know, I just think he's going to win. Volkov's got a good shot, but I think Gane's just overall a better striker, and again, maybe I'm just not, like, reading into it enough, but I'm sorry, if you win by like 50, 45, 49, 46 decision, I'm just going to pick you to win the rematch, because I know he hasn't looked as dedicated to the game, but ultimately I think Surreal is still going to just be good enough to get this one done. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Bro, I'm sorry, what the fuck is this fight? The UFC really went into the match, mate. I know Dana, like, we'll find out on Tuesday, buddy. That's a question for Tuesday. We'll work that out in the matchmaking meeting. Like, Dana really went to the fucking match. Like, imagine when someone's like, Dana, what do you think's next for Bryce Mitchell? That was a pretty nasty knockout to Josh Emmett. Kid, you know, the kid just got knocked out. I don't know what the fuck's next. That's a question for Tuesday. We'll get back in there. We'll have a fight booked for him probably next week. Like, and then what? They go to the matchmaking. They're cooking something up. You know, they're matchmaking fucking Shavkat and Garry, and then they're like, you know, who pitches in? Like, Hunter just pitches in. You know what's a banger, guys? Let's get Bryce Mitchell versus Gracie. Let's get my N-word Cron in there. Like, I had to resist the urge to just drop an N-word, but Bryce Mitchell versus Gracie. What is this fight? Like, they really thought, yeah, the old heads are gonna love this one. They really thought they were drawing back the fans from when fucking Bass Rutten was in his prime. Like, they thought they were drawing back Ken Shamrock fans to fucking watch this fight. Like, no one cares. This guy's coming off a loss a year and a half ago to Charles Jourdain. He was just butt scooting around the whole time trying to jump guard against the cage. Like, I'm not trying to see anyone jump guard unless it's Mackenzie Dern and I can see cheeks. Like, very passionate about this fight, as you can tell. This is going to be so funny, though. Like, Bryce Mitchell's going to look like a fucking world-class box. Like, we're gonna have talks of fucking Bryce Mitchell versus Jake Paul after this with how good this dude's about to look on the feet against Gracie. Why is a Gracie fighting in 2024? It's not 30 years ago, buddy. It's not the 90s. Get out of here. Like, fuck off. Go fucking... What are you doing? Why are you fighting? What? This guy even... Remember this Charles Jourdain fight? They literally, like, what does it mean to be fighting in the 30th year anniversary from when Royce Gracie won the first UFC event? He's like, I don't fucking care. That's not how he sounds, but that's not how he sounds, obviously. But, like, in his fucking Portuguese, he's like, I don't fucking give a shit. Like, I don't give a... Like, he doesn't want to be here. But they've just like, okay, fight Bryce Mitchell. Like, what? Why could I low-key see him just goofing his way to a win? Like, why could I see this dude winning, like, a robbery decision based off, like, being in bottom guard and Rogan just glazing, being like, you do not want to be in that guard, man. That's a nasty... He's got a Goga Plata. Gracie's got a nasty heel hook. You got to get out of there. Like, and Bryce is just holding him down, throwing ground and pound the whole time, and then, like, he gets a decision because he throws up a fucking triangle with, like, 10 seconds to go in the round. Like, could you not see that? Yes or no? So, I don't know. Gracie has the potential to be a ranked feather. Like, we have a potential to have a Gracie ranked in the top 15 in 2024. Like, this sport is devolving if that happens. Like, I'm sorry, I'm giving up. I'm gonna go fucking watch soccer. Like, I'm gonna go watch boxing. I'm gonna go advocate for fucking Bertabia versus Jake Paul. If Gracie becomes ranked in 2024. Like, what is this? Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. So, why the fuck was that other fight? Why is Bryce Mitchell Gracie on the main card? Anyway, this fight here, Choi versus Nate Landwehr, fucking banger. This fight's gonna slap. I'm going to pick Landwehr because I think his chin's just a bit more there and I think it's just a bit more in his prime than Choi. Like, again, this ain't 2019, little bro. Or 2017. Like, you ain't fighting fucking, what's his name? Who did he fight? Who was the war against? Cub Swanson. This ain't the Cub Swanson fight, buddy. Like, you're not a top 5 featherweight. But I think he's still solid, but he looked mid in his last fight, and Landwehr looked solid. Landwehr smoked Jamal Lemons, who's actually good. But Jamal Lemons, in my opinion, beat Jack Jenkins, and Landwehr slapped this dude in round 1. So I think Landwehr, Nate the Train, I think he's solid. He's going to lose to Dan Ige. he's going to lose to those top guys. I don't think he's going to lose to Choi, who also doesn't really have like some random out of nowhere submission threat. Or I don't think his Choi is going to fucking flying knee this dude in 20 seconds like I think a Rosa did, if I'm not mistaken. So I think he should be alright. I think Landwehr, it might not be a Rosa, don't quote me on that. But yeah, Landwehr, I think he's going to be solid. I think this fight's going to slap though. I think it probably will go decision if Choi's chin can hold up. But yeah, this fight's going to be a fucking banger. Let's move on though to the next fight. Next up, another random ass fucking fight. This card is very good, but it's also extremely random. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not getting hyped up to see Gracie fight in 2024, but like, I'm still excited to see like just top, like Bryce Mitchell as a top 15 featherweight. But this fight here, luque vs Themba. Luque's managed to go from a fucking free win against the established legend and name in Nate Diaz, he was gonna be on the pay-per-view main card. He was gonna get eyeballs, and he was probably gonna win. And to now, he's probably gonna get wrestle fucked by Themba. And also, shout out Themba for being the biggest fucking finesser in the UFC. Managed to go from, let's read out the names. He's gone from Pete Rodriguez to Ramiz Brahimaj to Nico Price, and now he's getting a top 15 opponent, Vicente Luque, on a pay-per-view card. And he's probably going to win, and he's going to be ranked. Shout out to Themba, honestly. Like, this is like the most fucking, what's it called? This is the most industry plant fucking career ever. I'm sorry, Themba, I know you had a tragic backstory or whatever. I know you grew up tough in like Zimbabwe or whatever. I respect the work you're doing there, my guy. Like, great stuff. But like, I'm sorry, this dude got given a house by The Rock, and now he's managed to finesse his way from going from Nico Price to a top 15 opponent. Crazy. Fair play though, honestly. I'll pick Themba. I think Luque is just so far past cooked. Like, he's overdone at this point. He's burnt the whole fucking house down, is how cooked this guy is. So yeah, I don't know. Smoke alarms are fully off. His joke's getting dead now. But yeah, Luque, I think he's not very good anymore. I think Garimbo's not as good as Buckley, so I think it probably will be a decision, as have pretty much every Garimbo fight. So yeah, I'm going to pick him to win by decision. If Luque has any fucking semblance of talent left, and he's not completely washed, he'll wrap up a DAS or some shit, because Garimbo has been subbed. But I think we're going to see washed Luque, and I think the fight with Diaz was just going to be pathetic to watch. So we're going to see washed Luque versus hungry man, fucking motivated Themba, who's going to be fighting for the fucking starving Africans in Zimbabwe. So I think he's going to get the win. Good stuff. We'll see what happens, though. Let's move on, though, to the next fight. Next up, another fight that probably should be on the main card over Gracie and also Choi. I mean, Choi's a sick fight, but I feel like that should be like prelim headliner. Like, put all the fucking names that will actually draw buys on the main card, and then get all the sick fights on like the prelims, honestly. Because again, people aren't paying for they're paying for the fights beforehand. So they could pay for like no names but sick fights, or they could pay for big names but shit fights, but they pay the money beforehand. Well, there's less people going to pay for no names, even if they might be sick. So I don't know, I think this should be on the main card, even though it's probably going to be a mid-ass fight. I'm picking Movsar. I think it's just too strong. I think it's just going to be two grapplers, and then one of the grapplers is just going to be stronger. Like, it's if you get like if you get like a Hall of Fame stunner there, but if you get like a 60 kilo purple belt and then roll in with like a 75 kilo blue belt, like the strength can kind of even it out a bit. And like let's say a 75 kilo wrestling background jiu-jitsu blue belt versus like a skinny fucking 60 kilo purple belt. Like, you know what I mean? I know Aljo's not skinny, so it's not the same, but like, I think one guy's just going to be stronger and the wrestling can kind of just counteract it. And in MMA as well, this dude's dealt with Diego Lopez's guard. I don't think Aljo's going to be fucking triangling him off bottom. Aljo's jiu-jitsu is not really like guard jiu-jitsu. It's more like he gets you down and he just back camps you. And I don't think he's going to be able to do that to Movsar. I actually want Aljo to win this. I don't like Movsar. I fundamentally disagree with him as a person. I don't even know him. But Aljo, I don't know. I'd prefer Aljo to win, but Movsar will probably win, go to like 19-0 or whatever, and we'll have another one of these inbreds in the sport. No, it's fine. He'll win, though. I don't really care. Let's move on, though. Aljo also sucks. Let's move on, though, to another fight. Next up on the card, we got Anthony on paper Smith versus Dominic. Glass Jaw Reyes, or no, Iron Jaw Reyes is the new mythical fighter. This dude's about to show up and look like a fucking 10-time champion. Like, this guy's about to put on a performance that's like, damn, this dude would have been putting up numbers in the 90s. Like, the Dominic Reyes that's about to beat Anthony Smith He's a fucking 10-time champion in 1995. I'm telling you right now. Fucking steel pick. I fucking love that guy. I'm engaging the fucking Joe Rogan guest podcast mode where they just start saying random shit. But no, Reyes is going to win. Smith sucks. You can't be losing to Roman Dolidze. I know he subbed Vitor Petrino. Vitor's retarded. But Reyes beat Dustin Jacoby, who's actually not bad. Like, Jacoby was, like, out-techniquing Menefield and just lost 2 rounds because he got dropped. But apart from that, like, Jacoby's solid. Like, he smoked fucking Kenny... what's his name? Kenny Okoye's cousin. Injagumugu. That guy. But yeah, I don't know. Fucking Smith will lose because he sucks. And Reyes has power and actually is talented. He's talented, but he's just got no chin. But Smith doesn't have power, so he's fine. As long as you don't fight, like, as long as you don't have power, Reyes will beat you. Like, easy. Let's move on, though, to another fight. Next up on the card, an absolute banger on the feet. This fight is going to be sick. Brian Battle, aka Evil Cigarette, fucking induced Charles Oliveira versus Randy Rude Boy Brown, fucking anorexic Jamaican. This dude got chinned by JDM, and as we know, JDM is exposed to be a fraud. I'm joking, by the way, but no. Brown's solid, but he looked mid against Zaleski dos Santos. Battle looked great. I'm just going to go off their last performances. Battle smoked Gisette. Brown looked mid against an old man. That's not all there is to it, but yeah, for now, I'm going to go with Battle. I think he's just got more cleaner technique, quicker to the puncher. Or maybe Brown's a bit quicker to the punch. Brown's probably a bit more precise, but volume of battle, cardio as well. I think he'll get this one done pretty comfortably on the feet, maybe even by TKO. Let's move on, though, to the next fight. Next up, we got fucking, what is this age gap in this matchmaking, bro? This is some fucking Leonardo DiCaprio level girlfriend age gap right here. What is this? Clay Guida, fucking Unk is like 50, retire please. Chase Hooper looks like he's fucking straight out of like college. I don't know, like this guy's in his freshman year of high school. I don't fucking know. This guy, he's gonna win though. He'll beat Clay Guida. Clay Guida's an old man. He's washed. He sucks. I'm trying to keep up jokes right now for 30 minutes. It's 2 a.m. Give me a break. But Clay Guida's just better at not Clay. Chase Hooper's better at grappling. Clay Guida's not really good in any department at all. And even on the feet, I think this dude could probably like I could see like a KO win on the feet, or like a TKO for Chase Hooper. Just comes out and just standing TKO up against the fence type shit. Like it could be a good performance for Ben Askren's son and my cousin-in-law, or my second cousin Chase Hooper. We look pretty similar. We message regularly, you know, we're on a first name basis. I call him Chase. Anyway, let's move on though to another fight. Next up, we got a fucking certified blobweight matchup here. I mean, 2 slightly less fat heavyweights, I guess. So, but yeah, Teixeira's good. I don't know, he looked good on Contender Series. I'll pick him to win. Brzeski fucking sucks. Apart from like managing to outgas Walter Walker, like this guy's done nothing in his career. So I'm gonna pick the Brazilian with the cool tattoo. Let's move on though to the next fight. Next up, this is one of my favorite fights on the card. But I swear this card's got some of my favorite fighters. We got Pantoja, we got Josh Van, and the rest. And who else do we have? We got someone else. I don't know. No, I'm lying. I'm talking about we really don't have any other of my favorite fighters. But Josh Van, I love this dude, but me and him are cool. I talked to Josh Van. You know, he's coming on the channel for an interview pretty shortly. He's not, but we're trying. But no, Josh Van's gonna cook up Cody Durden. Durden was getting tagged up by fucking Matt Schnell, and Matt Schnell sucks. So, now Matt Schnell's good technique, but Van will actually keep up that pace and push a pace in the third. This dude looked kind of mid against fucking, what's his name? He beat Charles Johnson, but he looked kind of mid against Jake Hadley. He got KO'd by Bruno Silva as well. I think this dude's just too open to punches. I think Van, once he gets the punches going, he's going to just keep hitting you. And also, I think Cody Durden's path to victory here is takedowns. Unless he just randomly KOs Van on the feet, which, if you're not just flatting, like, if you're not just absolutely laying out Matt Schnell, I just can't see you KOing Van. I know Van's chin is a bit questionable, but not as questionable as fucking Matt Schnell. But Van, once he gets the combos going, he's going to cook you. You're done. You're cooked. You're over. Your career's wraps. So yeah, Van's going to beat his ass, I reckon. And also, Van's takedown defense is really good, and he's evolving, and he's staying active too. I think this is going to be 4 fights in the year. Obviously, he had that loss to Johnson, but overall, I think Van's just way better at striking, and can keep it on the feet too. So I'll pick him to win by decision, or hopefully a TKO, but probably a decision. Let's move on though to the next fight. Next up, we got another fucking certified unk matchup. Two absolute fucking old heads going at it here. Cheisa versus Griffin. Who knows who I'm going to pick? I'll get back to you when I actually get around to the predictions on fight week. I'll probably lean Griffin. I don't know. Who cares? But last fight we got here is a fucking certified blob weight, certified BMI fucking matchup here. We got two cholesterol enthusiasts. Rizvan Kunayev versus Martin Buday. The fucking bellies on these two, I'll tell you. I'm going to pick Rizvan because I'm picking any man with the name Riz. So yeah, and also Buday sucks. So I'm going to pick him to win. Anyway, that'll do it, guys. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. What are your predictions for the card so far? Let me know what is your most anticipated fight. And yeah, peace out, guys. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye.